We're hearing about AI literally every single day. The amazing new models, the mind-bendingly powerful chips. But what if I told you the real story? The actual revolution isn't happening on some silicon wafer. It's happening inside the electrical grid. So let's just stop for a sec. What do you think is the single biggest threat that could just slam the brakes on all this incredible AI progress? Is it a shortage of genius coders? Not enough data? Well, the answer is surprisingly physical, almost old school. It's not the chips, it's the grid. The real bottleneck is shifting from silicon to electrons. We are quite literally running out of power and the infrastructure to deliver it. Okay, so let's dive into this. Let's really unpack AI's hidden bottleneck. Because this isn't about code or algorithms anymore. This is a problem of pure physics, and it's happening at a scale that is just wild to think about. And this, right here, shows you just how insane the problem is. A normal data center rack, it uses maybe 5 to 10 kilowatts. You can cool that with fans, no problem. But an AI rack packed with the latest GPUs, that is a completely different animal. We're talking 50, even 100 kilowatts or more per rack. At that point, air conditioning just doesn't work. You have to start using liquid cooling. All right, so who on earth is going to solve a problem this huge? Your mind probably jumps to some hot new Silicon Valley startup, right? Some company with a flashy name. But the real answer is way, way more interesting than that. Yeah, you heard that right. The company that's right in the middle of solving this whole power crisis started its life over 100 years ago, not in some sterile lab, but in the grease and steel world of the auto industry. And its name is Eaton. And this timeline, it just lays it all out perfectly. Look, this wasn't an accident. This was a deliberate, decades-long pivot. They started with truck axles way back in 1911. Then comes the huge move in 2012 when they bought a company that completely changed their DNA over to electrical power. Then in 2021, they made the tough call to sell off old-school parts of their business to go all in on what's growing, which led them right here, to the heart of the data center boom. But here's the thing. Eaton's success isn't just about their own smart moves. It's about how they perfectly place themselves at the intersection of three just monstrous global trends. They're all hitting at the same time, creating what some people are calling a super cycle. So let's break this down, because this is key. First up, you've got electrification. I mean, everything is going electric. Our cars, our heaters, and that alone is set to triple global electricity demand. Then you layer on top of that digitalization, the absolute explosion of data, and the insane power demands of AI. And then the third wave, especially in the US, is reindustrialization, a huge boom in building new factories, all of which need a staggering amount of power. And Eaton, they make the essential hardware for all three. Okay, so that's a great story, a great strategy. But did it actually work? Did it pay off? Because turning those big ideas into actual dollars, well, that's where the rubber meets the road. And the numbers? They're pretty mind-blowing. I mean, just look at the revenue growth here. It's a clear, powerful acceleration, jumping from under $18 billion to almost $25 billion in just a few years. This isn't some sleepy, old-school industrial company chugging along. This is a business hitting a massive growth spurt. And get this, it's not just about selling more stuff. It's about making a ton of money on everything they sell. An operating margin over 30%? For a company that makes physical hardware, that's almost unheard of. It tells you they have incredible control over their pricing, and their operations are super efficient. Now this number, this might be the most important one on the screen. Their backlog, think of it as a huge pile of signed contracts for future work. It grew by 18%. What that means is they have this amazing visibility into their future sales. It's like a guaranteed pipeline of cash, which makes them way less vulnerable to a shaky market. Okay, but here's where the plot thickens, because when a company is firing on all cylinders like this, and Wall Street knows it, you run into a different kind of problem, the stock price itself. And that brings us to the big central question for anyone looking to invest. After all this incredible success, with the stock price soaring, is this still a sure thing? So to really get the debate here, we got to talk about something called the P/E ratio. Just think of it like a price tag for the stock, based on its profits. Eaton's P/E is sitting around 31. For an industrial company, that's high, like really high. That price tag means investors aren't just paying for today's profits, they're betting on absolutely massive growth for a long, long time. And this is where you get the two camps, the classic bull versus bear debate. The bulls, the optimists, they say, look, Ada absolutely deserves this high price tag. They're a rare breed, a critical piece of the AI puzzle. The supercycle is just getting warmed up. But the bears, the skeptics, they're saying, whoa, hold on. The stock is priced for absolute perfection. What that means is there's zero room for error. If they stumble even a little bit, that stock price could fall off a cliff.
So, okay, we've looked at the tech, the history, the incredible financials, and the big debate around the stock. Where does that leave us? What's the key takeaway here? What is Eaton really in today's world?
I think this final thought really nails it. Eaton has become the literal hardware backbone of this entire AI revolution. Think about it. In this huge gold rush for computing power, they're not betting on which AI company will win. No, they're the ones selling the picks and shovels to all the miners. They've become the arms dealer in a war that's not fought with bullets, but with kilowatts. And honestly, that makes them one of the most important and maybe most overlooked companies of our era.